So the results of June are out for the Toronto Real Estate Board. And I thought we'd do something a little different, Alex. I thought maybe we could do an overview, a snapshot of what happened, but more importantly, get into some specific advice for buyers and sellers for their particular scenario right now. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. There has been a market shift, and I think a lot of people are looking for the answers. And I think you and I have generally been spot on to the market. So I think we can really help guide some people's real estate decisions, impressions. So yeah, great idea, Cam.
Perfect. Sounds fantastic. So why don't we do this? We'll do a quick little market snapshot then, just advance on the agendas, quick market snapshot, then buyers, we can do some scenario strategies for sellers. And then there's always some common questions people have, and we can address those. Sound good?
Sounds great. Good
Perfect.
idea.
Excellent. Good. So market snapshot, the results are out for June. Here's the stats, Alex. What do you think in terms of the number of homes sold?
Yeah, a good average month. We're on track to 90,000 to 95,000 homes sold for the year, which makes it a good year.
Yeah.
Of course, compared to last year, it's not as strong, but again, last year was a record year, and you can't beat records every month. So I'm really happy with the sales, and it shows you that almost 6,500 people bought homes last month. So that's a good market.
Yeah, significant activity, isn't it? 7.4 billion. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Good. Average price. Any thoughts on average price?
Yeah, it's average price is certainly less than what we were hoping for compared to the start of the year. But on average, we're the same price as last year. So that's good news as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And homes available for sale. I was happy to see this stat. It's kind of in line with the overall average, for this time of year for history.
But I'm not happy with this number.
Yeah.
And the reason is we're still in a seller's market.
Right.
So a good house comes up and there's 2, 3, 4, 7 offers on it, and homes are selling still in competition and still around 100% of asking price. So on one hand, it's great that there is a lot of competition. I hate to see bidding wars, but we are in a seller's market. I would love to see a more balanced market.
Yeah, and actually, absolutely, Alex. My perspective, the 16,000 is that we don't have a problem with our inventory. That's what I was happy about and seeing. We don't have a bunch of homes sitting, and you're absolutely right. The competition is still there and still a seller's
Very
market.
fierce.
So yeah,
Very
absolutely.
Fierce.
Yeah, perfect.
The key, Cam, sorry,
No
is
problem.
pricing it right.
Yes.
If you price your home right, it sells immediately, well, within a couple of weeks. If you don't price it within 5% of market value, it doesn't sell. That's how sensitive the market is.
Yeah, absolutely. Price it well. I'll talk to an expert realtor, professional realtor, Realtron realtor. So yeah,
definitely.
Good. So buyers. So there's obviously lots of buyers out there. I lots of them buying right now because 6,200, 6,400, 500 sales. Well, first-time buyers. So if we are advising a first-time buyer, which I suppose fall into two categories, right? We got the one that might be living with their parents, so they've got a less than market rent. And then the one that's out there paying the market rents. And wow, market rents have gone up and continued to go up a lot, Alex?
Oh, the challenge, Cam, is that for the last 15 years, supply of new homes, new apartments has lagged behind demand.
Yeah.
So every year we've been between 10 and 20,000 units short. And that's why prices have increased so dramatically. And that's why rents have increased so dramatically. I mean, we have approximately 400,000 people coming to Canada every year for the next 3 years, and that's going to put more demand on renting and owning. So,
absolutely.
Our rents are still very high for Toronto, but low compared to other world-class cities.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the first time buyer, if you should talk to your Realtron professional. They'll line you up with a mortgage person, get your mortgage commitment, you got your down payment. You can look, and there are, even though it's a seller's market, there's fewer competitors, a little more choice, a little more time. So, and the great thing about owning is you're paying yourself, you're not paying your landlord, you're saving for your retirement. So all good.
Absolutely. And Cam, the greatest, the baby boomers were the biggest generation coming through. That's where you and I come in.
Yeah,
The big generation now are the Gen Zs. And those are kids who are now in their early 20s. They're graduating from university. They're going to move out of their parents' basements.
yeah.
And the Gen Z will put another major demand on rent.
Demand.
So expect rents to keep going up.
Yes, absolutely. And what about somebody who owns now and is looking to buy? I guess we got two scenarios there. They're going to sell, so there'll be a buyer and seller. And the other scenario is they're able to keep their existing property and have an investment property now. Any thoughts on that type of buyer, Alex?
Gosh, if you can afford it in terms of your finances, yes, we're still in a seller's market. Yes, we're still in a multiple offer situation, but it's less than it was a year ago, 6 months ago. So if you can, real estate will continue to go up as demand continues to grow. And between immigration and demand, if you can afford to trade up, if you can afford to buy an investment property, you have to.
Yeah,
Your third point is buying an investment property. Sadly, when Canadians retire, their their major source of finances, of money, is their property. So the average Canadian will retire and now has to live on a fixed income, and they own their home. Great. But on a fixed income, they can't afford taxes, they can't afford heat and hydro, they can't afford to live. So if you can buy a second property now, when you retire, you'll be able to sell your investment property, keep that money to pay other bills, and live happily in your home, which you've always done.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think if you can at all, now is the time to stretch to buy an investment property.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. It's a long-term great investment, real estate, right?
Honestly, in Canada, it's a necessity because if you're going to depend on old age pension, it's not going to do very much for you.
Yes, absolutely. And so sellers. So we got obviously someone who's selling because they're buying, and we pretty well talked about that, right? They're trading up or they're right sizing for their home. And I guess both of us are strongly do it, right? You be in the market, don't be
Yeah,
on the sidelines, right? And
yeah,
renting after selling, I guess some people may think about selling and then renting. And I guess if they're needing to do that, maybe seniors who are going to retirement homes and those sorts of things, maybe. But I think to your point about investment, if they can retain, ownership,
sure.
that would be, the best thing.
That's the ideal thing. Real estate has always been a long-term investment opportunity. Even your own principal residence is an investment.
Yeah,
So if you are now you have to retire and the only source of income is your home, you can perhaps rent out the basement or rent out a portion of it to bring in income, or worse comes to worse, you can sell it and at least you have something to live on in your golden years.
absolutely, absolutely. And I thought we'd end up just with common questions, Alex. I know you're asked this, our realtors are asked this, I'm asked this. Should I buy before I sell? Should I sell before I buy? Should I buy conditional on selling? Is real estate a good investment? We started to talk about that, and is this the time to be flipping, speculating in real estate? Lots of great questions,
Lots of
and
great questions.
yeah, yeah, and
And what you really need, sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
is a full-time real estate professional who has the answers to these questions. And as you know, Cam, our agents, our Realtron, Remax Realtron agents are well-trained, professional, full-time, experienced. they have these answers. If you've got these questions, they have the answers. So I would really urge you to call your Remax Realtron professional. They can give you the advice that you're looking for. We're in a little bit of a confusing time with so many conflicting opinions. I think we have the right answers for you. So I encourage you to give your Remax Realtron agent a call.
Great advice, Alex. And once again, thanks so much. June results are out.
Pleasure.
And great coverage.
And I think we've got a good market. It's not great, but it's a good steady market with buyers and sellers, both achieving their means. And I'm looking forward to the same type of market as we go through the summer.
Sounds good. Thanks, Alex.
All right.